Here's the middle. The bow is divided in 6 parts. If you grip it here, then you need the good thing is with the reverse grip, you don't need a hand change if you change direction. You know, if you have a standard grip, good techniques in it. And here I want to talk about a part which is a reverse grip. A reverse grip is called gyaku-nigiri in most schools or many schools. So it's not like the standard grip, one hand from below, other hand up, left, right, but it's from above. So you can, without a hand change, you can move to both sides, right? To any side. And you found this this gyaku-nigiri, for example, in Sunakake. Not to be confused with Tsuken Sunakake, but Sunakake of different lineage. Like that, right? So you wiggle and you whine. It's maki osai. You whine and press, whine and press, and the same thing you do here in Sueyoshi, like that. So kind of any kind of block. You know, in the analysis in the bunkai, you can start thinking about, oh, maybe it's the lower end, or maybe it's the middle end, or maybe it's the above end, or maybe I use it as a lever, like that, you know. Put it in somewhere and throw it around. But that doesn't matter, because as in any free movement, and like in karate and bojutsu in the form of kata, it always can mean anything, right? It can mean anything. So if someone says, I know the application of this technique, then this person would assume that he knows, or she, that he knows like everything. And that's rather unlikely, let's say like this. So the technique is like this. Right? Like that. And you can do the nuki, you can do it like this. Or you can, like a maide, like a held thrust. Or you can do the nuki version. So actually the description of Taira Shinken 1964, you don't see it in the photos. And I don't think many people do it in the actual kata performance. But he says, form a ring with the hand and thrust through it, right? That's what he says, form a ring and thrust through it. So it's a nuki. At that time, when Taira Shinken published his book, there were a few terminologies in there, a few terms in there, which you can consider like a specific martial art terminology. But many techniques, they just didn't have their own name, really, like today. So the terminology for Kobudo probably developed more in a more consistent way, in a more broader way, in the post-war area. Sometime since the 1960s, probably more in the 1970s, and then finally in the 1980s, everyone had decided either to, oh yeah, we have to have a terminology, or like many say, you know, it's too difficult, it's too much work, and why bother? And we just don't use much of terminology. We say, just do it like this, do it like this, do it like this. And it works, you know, exactly because what I said before, because you cannot know the application of it, right? In an individual performance, be it karate, any move, any dance move or whatever move can be whatever kind of technique. So it's kind of futile to argue about that, right? It is also kind of futile to pretend to know all that, or to have found all that, or to have been taught all that because it's like kind of open. It's like open end. Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it, right? And so the terminology, it fixes the idea of a certain technique to the movement, which is good for memory reasons and which is good for basic idea like uchi-uke, soto-uke, age upwards, gedan downwards. It's good, you know, move downwards. Ah, that was it. Move upward. And upward. Yeah. Okay. Outward, inside. Yeah. Okay, good. It's good, but there's a fixation of an idea towards a technique. So every time I do this technique or whatever technique, I'm gonna have an idea of what it means. The analysis has been taken away from me. So what I'm saying here is just, you know, either you have a terminology or not. Both ways are good, you know. Sometimes it's easier to learn with the terminology than just, well, do it like this. You know, I guess actually the original way was feeling it. Like, you know, you would feel it. Someone would say, here, attach the bow here and feel it. Press. You see, you're through. Now be very relaxed. I can push you down. And this is how you learn originally. And this is unrelated to some culture or ways or whatever.